Elon Musk was right. Experts have frequently predicted that Twitter's high volume of layoffs would spell the death for the firm, but Musk has shown that they were wrong. Recently, Twitter revealed an amazing quantity of its active users across the globe, emphasizing the remarkable influence and power of the platform. Musk also implemented new revolutionary policies to change the way we look at free speech and freedom of expression. Moderation policies on the platform are now completely different, and it looks incredible. Also, it is evident that Musk's cost-cutting strategies have been successful. Twitter hasn't seen any significant technical problems despite reducing more than half its personnel, demonstrating that you don't need to spend a fortune to start a profitable firm. The astonishing strategy Musk has employed while discharging employees is remarkable. So, ever since Elon Musk took over things at Twitter, Twitter has pretty much purged itself of a significant chunk of its employees. It's one of the things it has been most criticized for, and many thought that the company would be doomed because of it. But Twitter's still running, and Musk has the perfect justification for the layoffs. Elon Musk had a vision for the future of Twitter, one that required a leaner, more hardcore staff. So he went to work, laying off nearly 2/3 of the company's 7,500 employees within just 3 weeks of taking over the company. This was massive, and in many aspects, an unprecedented move. If Musk's move backfired, it could have been a disaster. Twitter users could be left without the critical expertise that keeps their data safe and compliant with regulations. Without proper moderation, tweets containing misinformation or illegal content could go unchecked and lead to chaos on the platform. Most of the employees were given a choice of whether or not they wanted to remain in the company. Those who remained were asked to commit to Musk's vision and accept longer hours and more intense work. Those who didn't were offered 3 months severance pay. Ultimately, Musk wanted to trim the excess and make sure that Twitter was being run as efficiently and effectively as possible. He even fired a handful of employees who had publicly criticized Twitter to create a sense of loyalty from those remaining. But of course, it may have been beneficial for Twitter to get rid of these employees. After all, in such a competitive industry, it's important to run a tight ship and make sure that resources are being used as effectively as possible. This way, Twitter can put more of its energy into developing new features and improving the user experience. Plus, it gives the remaining employees a chance to step up and take on more responsibility. By sticking with Musk's vision, they can prove themselves and rise in the ranks of the company. The move could also create a deeper connection between the remaining staff and Elon Musk, as those who don't believe in his philosophy were given the option to leave. It's important to note that Elon Musk didn't just fire these employees because he didn't have a heart. He fired them because he had no other choice. Twitter was in a terrible place financially before Musk took over. It hadn't recorded an annual profit since 2019 and had posted losses for 8 of the past 10 years. Twitter was known for being a great workplace when Musk bought it. Its workers had access to the kinds of things you'd probably dream about. Twitter employees may have been living the high life, but it was coming at an astronomical cost to the company. For example, the company was spending upwards of $14 million a year on luxury catering services that barely any of the employees used. Musk pointed out that there were more people making breakfast than there were eating it. Musk was focused on getting Twitter's finances back in order, and he wasn't afraid to make some unpopular decisions in the process. His approach may have been a little too drastic for some, but it did help get Twitter back on track. Despite all the drama with layoffs and firings, it looks like Twitter is doing just fine. The platform has seen a surge in engagement, adding 1.6 million daily active users last week, an all-time high. And those numbers are only expected to go up as Twitter continues to make improvements for users around the world. After all, it's hard to deny the power of a platform with over 330 million active users worldwide. Musk also focused on the freedom of expression of his plan. He laid off an unknown number of contract workers who had focused on content moderation. In the aftermath, several employees who were maintained on the staff quickly chose to resign, including former Twitter head of trust and safety Yoel Roth. With a mass exodus of staff, how could this platform ensure compliance with US and international policies regarding free speech, hate speech, and freedom of expression? Automation can identify spam or dubious accounts, but often it requires a more discerning human review. Twitter's impending reductions may cause them to direct their content moderation endeavors towards areas with stringent regulations on social media networks, like those in Europe. Here, tech firms can be subjected to hefty penalties under the freshly announced Digital Services Act if they neglect to monitor free speech while working against hate speech simultaneously. This is according to Bhaskar Chakravarti, Dean of Global Business at Tufts University's Fletcher School. The staff has been decimated, Chakravarti stated. The few content moderators left, who are responsible for freedom of expression, are going to be focused on Europe, because Europe is the squeakiest wheel. When Elon Musk assumed control of Twitter, He consistently articulated his focus on censorship policies and free speech, and the recent staff reductions demonstrate this commitment in action. Many of the posts were made by people who wanted to test Twitter's new policies on freedom of expression, especially their moderation capabilities. It was an effort to determine what boundaries were permissible and how far one can go with their speech without being censored or removed. According to Elon Musk, Twitter responded quickly in reducing the reach of posts that were deemed offensive. He also maintains that hate speech has reduced since he became an owner. A noticeable indication of alteration at Twitter is the resurfacing of former prohibited users into their accounts, such as Trump, the Babylon Bee, Kathy Griffin, Jordan Peterson, and significantly more. Self-proclaimed free speech advocate Musk has proclaimed that he wants to keep all content legally allowed on Twitter, while also subduing posts with a negative or hateful tone. Rather than eradicating these types of messages altogether, his call for freedom of speech, not freedom of reach, implies that Twitter may still allow such material without suggesting it or spreading it across the platform. That's it for today. Subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell.